Have you ever wondered what truly separates those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream about it? I've spent years observing the patterns of success and failure, and time after time, I've discovered that it's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence, it's discipline, the quiet, consistent force that shapes destinies. Think of your life as a vast ocean. Your dreams and goals are distant shores waiting to be reached. You might have the finest ship ever built, your natural talents and abilities. You might have favorable winds, opportunities that come your way. But without a steady hand on the rudder, your self-discipline, you'll drift aimlessly, never reaching those shores that call to you from the horizon. Today we're going to explore how to become the captain of your ship, how to harness the immense power of self-discipline to navigate toward the life you truly desire. The foundation. Understanding true discipline. Let's start by clearing up a common misconception. Discipline isn't punishment. It isn't restriction. True discipline is freedom. The freedom to choose your future rather than being swept along by circumstance. Think about a master pianist. Years of disciplined practice don't restrict their musical expression, they enable it. The discipline of daily practice creates the freedom to play anything, to express every emotion through their instrument. The same applies to your life. Every act of discipline is an investment in your future freedom. When I was younger, I believed talent would carry me through life. I had natural abilities in certain areas, and I relied on them. I could pull all-nighters and succeed through last-minute efforts. But eventually, I hit a ceiling, a point where talent alone couldn't take me further. That's when I discovered the transformative power of discipline. Not as a harsh taskmaster, but as a trusted ally in creating the life I wanted. So let's dive deeper into how we can cultivate this powerful force in our own lives. The first pillar, daily habits, the architecture of excellence. Imagine building a cathedral. You don't create such a magnificent structure in a single day. It rises stone by stone, day by day, through countless small actions. Your life is that cathedral, and your daily habits are the stones. Each small habit may seem insignificant on its own. A 15-minute morning meditation, reading 10 pages of a book, taking a short walk, writing in a journal before bed. These may seem like tiny actions, and they are. But these tiny actions, performed consistently, create massive transformation over time. Think about water. Gentle, flowing water seems harmless. Yet given enough time, water carves canyons through solid rock. Not through force, but through persistence. Your habits work the same way. I once worked with someone who transformed their life through a single 5-minute habit. Each morning, before checking emails or social media, they would write down 3 specific actions they could take that day to move closer to their most important goal. Just 5 minutes. But that one habit, practiced daily, changed everything. It oriented each day toward progress rather than reaction. Small actions, consistently taken, led to remarkable achievements within a year. The beauty of habits is that once established, they require minimal willpower. They become part of who you are. Consider this. You don't need willpower to brush your teeth each night. It's simply what you do. That's the power of a habit fully formed. Now imagine channeling that same automatic behavior toward your most important goals. But how do we build these powerful habits? Start small. Ridiculously small. Want to build a writing habit? Don't commit to an hour daily. Commit to writing 1 sentence. Want to establish a fitness routine? Begin with a single push-up or a 5-minute walk. When you start small, you remove the psychological resistance that prevents most habits from forming. And once you've started, you can build momentum naturally. Remember this truth. Consistency trumps intensity every time. I'd rather you do 5 minutes of exercise daily than 3 hours once a month. The daily action, however small, reshapes your identity. You become a person who exercises rather than a person who intends to exercise someday. Your habits create your life, one day at a time. The second pillar, conquering procrastination, turning someday into today. Let's confront the silent dream killer, procrastination. We all know the voice. I'll start tomorrow. I'll feel more motivated later. I need to wait until conditions are perfect. These whispers are the siren song that keeps ships from ever leaving the harbor. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about discomfort. We procrastinate because beginning is uncomfortable. We procrastinate because we fear failure, or sometimes we fear success and the responsibility it brings. Here's a powerful truth I've learned. Action precedes motivation, not the other way around. We think we need to feel motivated to start, but the reality is that starting creates motivation. Action generates energy. Think about the last time you procrastinated on something important, then finally started. Remember that sense of relief? That surge of energy once you were in motion? That's no coincidence. I once coached a talented writer who had dreamed of writing a novel for 15 years. For 15 years, she waited for the right time, with enough inspiration. When we began working together, I challenged her to write for just 10 minutes every morning, no matter how she felt. The first week was a struggle, but by the second week, something shifted. Some days she would write for an hour or more, completely absorbed in the process. Within 6 months, she had completed a draft of her novel, not by waiting for perfect conditions, but by taking consistent action despite imperfect conditions. Here's a technique I call the 5-minute commitment. When facing resistance toward an important task, commit to just 5 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 5 minutes. Once those 5 minutes start, the psychological barrier dissolves, and continuing becomes easier than stopping. Procrastination's power over us stems from how we frame tasks in our minds. When we think of a project in its entirety, writing a book, building a business, transforming our health, it feels overwhelming. The solution is to focus only on the next step, the smallest possible action that moves you forward. Don't think about writing a book. Think about writing a paragraph. Don't think about building a business. Think about making one phone call. Focus on the next step, not the entire staircase. And remember this: procrastination feeds on vague intentions. I'll work on my business sometime this week, almost guarantees procrastination. I'll call 3 potential clients tomorrow between 9 and 10 a.m., creates clarity that leads to action. Be specific, be concrete, and start now, not someday. The third pillar, embracing challenges, the muscle of resilience. Now let's talk about the true test of self-discipline, facing challenges and setbacks. Discipline isn't just about taking action when things are going well. It's about maintaining course when storms arise. It's about continuing when motivation fades and obstacles appear. I want you to reimagine challenges. Most people see challenges as barriers to success. But what if they're actually the path to success? Consider how muscles grow. They don't develop through comfort. They develop through resistance, through the tension of pushing against weight. Remove the resistance, and growth stops. Your capacity for discipline works the same way. It strengthens not when things are easy, but when you persevere through difficulty. I remember coaching an entrepreneur whose first business venture failed spectacularly. He lost nearly everything. Many would have given up, concluding they weren't cut out for business. But he approached the failure differently. Every evening for a month, he spent 30 minutes writing lessons from the experience. What worked, what didn't, what he would do differently. No blame, no shame, just learning and growth. Within a year, he launched a new venture applying those lessons. Today, that business thrives. The failure wasn't his end, it was his education. His discipline to learn rather than quit made all the difference. When you face challenges, and you will, remember that they aren't just testing your discipline, they're building it. Here's a perspective shift that has helped many. Stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Every obstacle contains a lesson. Every setback carries a seed of growth. Your discipline to look for that lesson, to extract that growth, transforms challenges from barriers into bridges. This resilience, this capacity to continue despite difficulty, may be the most valuable form of discipline you can develop. The fourth pillar, the power of environment, designing for success. Now, let's explore a dimension of discipline that's often overlooked: your environment. Even the strongest willpower is no match for a poorly designed environment. We are, to a surprising degree, products of our surroundings. Consider this. If you keep cookies on your kitchen counter and vegetables hidden in your refrigerator drawer, which are you more likely to eat when hunger strikes? This isn't about willpower. It's about design. The most disciplined people don't rely solely on willpower. They deliberately structure their environment to make positive actions easier and negative actions harder. I worked with a client who struggled for years with morning productivity. Despite his best intentions, he would reach for his phone upon waking and lose an hour to email and social media before his day properly began. His solution wasn't more willpower, it was environmental design. He bought an alarm clock and began charging his phone in another room overnight. This simple change, making the undesired behavior slightly more difficult, transformed his mornings. Your environment includes more than physical space. It includes the people around you. As the saying goes, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their habits, their standards, their expectations shape yours, often unconsciously. Surround yourself with disciplined, growth-minded individuals, and you'll naturally rise to their level. Their actions will normalize discipline for you. What seemed extraordinary becomes ordinary. So audit your environment. Does it make discipline easier or harder? Does it reflect who you are or who you want to become? Small environmental adjustments can dramatically reduce the willpower required for disciplined action. Perhaps the most powerful environmental tool is the pre-commitment. This means making decisions in advance when your resolve is strong, rather than in the moment, when temptation is high. Want to exercise in the morning? Sleep in your workout clothes? Want to avoid late-night impulse purchases? Keep your credit cards in a frozen block of ice that takes time to thaw. These pre-commitments create a gap between impulse and action, a gap that often makes the difference between giving in and staying the course. Remember, the environment always wins. Design yours intentionally. The transformation, from discipline to identity. As we begin to draw our exploration to a close, I want to touch on perhaps the most powerful aspect of discipline, how it transforms your identity. Every time you choose discipline over immediate gratification, you're not just performing an action, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. One workout doesn't transform your health, but it does strengthen your identity as someone who exercises. One focused work session doesn't complete a major project, but it reinforces your identity as someone who does deep, meaningful work. Over time, these identity shifts are transformative. The actions that once required tremendous willpower become automatic expressions of who you are. I no longer need discipline to write daily. Writing isn't what I do, it's who I am. The initial discipline created an identity that now sustains the habit effortlessly. This is the ultimate goal. Not white-knuckled self-control, but aligned action, flowing from a clear sense of who you are and who you're becoming. As your discipline builds new patterns, pay attention to these identity shifts. Acknowledge them, celebrate them. I am becoming someone who is a powerful phrase. Use it. Bringing it all together. Your next step. We've covered significant ground today. We've explored the foundations of discipline, the power of daily habits, strategies for overcoming procrastination, approaches to challenges, and the importance of environment. But knowledge without action is merely entertainment. So let me ask you, what one small step will you take today? Not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready. Today. Perhaps it's setting a 5-minute timer and starting that project you've been avoiding. Perhaps it's removing social media apps from your phone to design a more focused environment. Perhaps it's establishing a tiny new habit, just 2 minutes of journaling or meditation each morning. Whatever it is, make it small enough that you can't say no. Then do it, today. Remember that discipline isn't perfection. You'll have days when you fall short. That's not failure, it's feedback. The discipline to begin again, to return to your path without harsh self-judgment, is perhaps the most important discipline of all. Your life is being built one day, one decision, one action at a time. With each disciplined choice, you're constructing the cathedral of your future. And while talent may open doors, it's discipline that carries you through them. While ideas may inspire, it's discipline that brings them to life. While dreams may ignite passion, it's discipline that turns them into reality. You have within you the capacity for remarkable discipline. It may be dormant, but it's there. And as you nurture it, as you exercise it through consistent action, it will grow stronger. Day by day, choice by choice, action by action. You are the architect of your destiny, and self-discipline is your most powerful tool. Build wisely. Build consistently, and watch as the life you've imagined takes shape before your eyes. The journey of 1,000 miles doesn't begin with a giant leap. It begins with a single step. What step will you take today? Did you know? Just one like from you can give me the motivation to create more awesome videos. And by subscribing with the notification bell on, you'll never miss out on my next amazing content. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this video or suggest a topic you'd like to see next.